All right. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Hope you guys are good. Sorry about that. I had to go freaking find an extension cord. Okay. More people need to call out scammer. Okay. I don't watch, so. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Kylie tonight. So we're 10 months in. Those of you that did not see the two videos that I put out earlier, just it was kind of interesting. Now, I wanted to just say a couple of things about that. So I was going through people's comments. Now, I don't know who programs those answers into Alexa. I don't know, like, if regular people just have access to that or not. But I thought they were pretty interesting anyway. Just the answers that were given. With that being said, we are 10 months in. And to this day, nothing else has ever come out about it. Nothing. Now, as a logical person, I can sit and I can see this from a few sides. Okay. We on this channel, we have mulled around so many different theories as to what could have happened. Just so many. And we've gone through them, we've talked about them. Let me just take a second and say hey to everybody that came in. Thank you guys for being here. But we've gone through all kinds of scenarios, right? But that's the thing. I mean, we're 10 months in and it's still all speculation because not a damn shred of evidence or proof has come out, period. Nothing. Now, I know a lot of people have said, and this was talked about in the beginning, whether or not this was a psyop, whether or not this was, put out there for a reason. Let's just say that. And we've talked about all of it. Now, I will say that I did find it a little odd, some of Alexa's answers yesterday and this morning. But I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it and see where y'all stood after all of this time. All this time, all these months later, after looking for any shred of anything that we could find, and to just still be empty-handed. Yes, we've found, we've found out different things about certain people, but there has never been any shred of evidence or proof that's been put out that can actually be taken as factual information. Facts. Ask Alexa who's anime. Yeah, I want to do a whole live just asking Alexa a bunch of questions, and I think I'm going to do that tomorrow night. So if you guys have anything that you want me to ask during that live, you can go ahead and leave them in the comment section of this video. And then we'll go through that tomorrow night. We'll do all that. It'll have to be tomorrow night though. Like I'm thinking around 9:00 tomorrow night because tomorrow is my son's birthday. So we'll be busy all day. And then about 9:00, I'll come on and we'll do that. Another thing is, we've always looked at this case and looked at the lack of emotion involved with everybody that we've seen, right? Just nobody seemed hurt. Nobody seemed like they had just had this big loss in their life. And we've always questioned that. Now, what are we looking at here? I'm sustaining at Prosser, never left there. I believe it happened right there. Something went awry. Someone knows someone that was there. Yeah, and another interesting thing that I found If okay, let's just talk about some of these things. All right. Let's talk about the fact that if y'all remember, Kylie's mom said she was going to attend Sierra College. Now, she had graduated early. She was done with high school, right? Her mom said she was going to Sierra. Her dad said she was going to Santa Cruz. And then somebody ended up coming out later and said that she was actually going to attend Yale University. How is it this girl, right, who had just graduated early, 2 years early, right? And nobody in her family or nobody knew what college she was planning on leaving to go to. Like, that is super strange. Not only that, I mean, but really nothing in this case has ever made sense, right? Like, you can look at it from one theory and go, okay, well, this, and this match, but this doesn't make sense. You look at another theory, you're like, okay, well, this and this go together, but this thing over here doesn't fit in anywhere. There's always been, we've never been able to nail down a theory. Now, why do you think that is? Guess she had options. Yeah, but wouldn't they have known? Like, her dad was like, she was set to attend Santa Cruz University. Her mom was like, she's going to Sierra College. And then somebody else was like, no, she was actually going to attend Yale. Well, how did nobody know for sure what college this girl was about to leave to go to? That was the whole right idea of the party, was to say goodbye to your favorite seniors. Party in quotations. It just doesn't add up. I have a theory, but I don't know how to prove it. Well, that's the thing, right? We've come up with so many theories, but we don't have any proof of anything. Yeah, exactly. You can't just drive up to a college and start class. You have to be enrolled there. So there's a lot of things, and then you go and you look at Lindsay's whole demeanor, her whole thing, and that doesn't make sense. Sammy acted like she was in a play. Honestly, she acted like, I mean, if she is a crisis actor, she's a freaking terrible one. She couldn't even fake sadness. So I'm saying, if that, a lot of people are thinking at this point, listen, this was a whole big show for a reason, right? A lot, and I understand why people think that. I get it. But if that's the case, I mean, they'll need a lot of work, because we all saw right through it. And that's why from the very beginning, we were all going, wait a minute. Okay, we got to figure this. We got to figure this one out. Hey, everybody that just came in. Thank you guys for being here. Yep, my niece is going to Mississippi State, and you know these things. Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. And I'd also like to ask Alexa about Captain Sam Brown. And I'm not saying that I believe everything that Alexa said, because some of the stuff she said, like, when I asked if what did I say? Something about, is Kiely Rodni dead or alive? Or is she dead? And it said something about, yeah, she went missing on a Saturday, and Monday she was discovered when her body had floated to the surface of the lake. And that doesn't match the story that we were told. Let's see. She was going to go to Sierra. She wasn't leaving the area. The two CRVs, one was the family car, the second Kiely got from her grandpa on her dad's side that passed away. They may have sold her in Mexico. Nick Giovanni is more involved in this than you think. And you know what? When I was in this, right? When I was really into this, and this was my main focus, I I didn't, how do I want to say this? Nick's story seemed believable, but you know what I said the first day I saw him was like, he looks like a actor or a Calvin Klein model. Like that's the type of person that he reminded me of. Like he was in the industry. He was so clean cut. He was so, you know what I mean? You just get those vibes from certain people. Now, again, I'm not stating that anything, because that's the thing, right? We don't have proof of anything. Yeah, I think it was some pre-college hazing gone wrong. Oh, Allie, thank you, because that's another thing that I wanted to bring up that people were commenting. They were like, I cannot believe you have one of those things in your house. You need to get rid of that thing. Honestly, y'all, if you have a smartphone, you have the same exact thing because it is listening to you all the time anyway. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot about I said from the beginning that it was like a very bad B-rated movie, could be a psyop. And that's the thing, right? It's so, I mean, if you step back from a minute, if you step back, right? Just clear your head, pretend like you are just hearing about this case for the first time. Step back for a second and then look at everything. Look at Jay, look at Sammy, look at Lindsay, look at the town. Look at how everybody acted, right? Look at Angela Solomon, how she acted. If you just look at all of it, it's like you were watching a play. Now, again, I'm not stating that it didn't happen. I'm just saying I understand why people think that. I do. I get it. Siri was all about the news articles. But don't you guys find it very strange that even after all of this time later, not one person has ever come out to say anything? 10 months later, not one person? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's just still so odd. I mean, okay, so that's what made me first get into this case was that I was like, why is this 18-year-old chick running the show here? Why is she leading everything? And then when I found out that the volunteers that showed up to search, the whole thing was just handled by teenagers and they were supposed to hand evidence over to teenagers, I was like, wait a second. Either Ellie is way jacked in you know, they're way like I don't even know. I never heard of such a thing. Or this can't be real, right? But you don't let that take over because you're like, okay, we have to look at every possibility. We have to look at every single thing and rule it out. If we can't rule it out, then you know, we stick with it. If we can rule it out, we push it out of the way. Thank you, Andrew Dominic, for the $20 super chat. I never stopped thinking about this case. So weird. Those YouTubers are shady, icky. Oh, yeah, Icky Mel and Zane, especially Tony. I know, and you got to think about their whole involvement in this whole thing too. You know, it's still weird how Sammy ended up talking to American Dream Chaser and people that are in this case called Ikmel's channel first. Let's see. Yes, no one is there for Kylie, so odd. Not even family and not like Gabby Petito. It was 2 separate searches, the most bizarre I've ever seen. There are too many discrepancies with his version of events. Everything he said happened can and has not been verified. Nick created an alibi, fingerprints. And I know a lot of people looked at that too. A lot of people were like, oh, he came forward because he knew his prints were going to be in the car. You know, at the same time, though, you were they investigating that? Because I mean, when they pulled the car out of the lake, that lady had her hands all up and in there on the steering wheel with no gloves on. And, it does make you wonder. And then when they showed up there in flip-flops and shorts, I mean, that's weird. I don't care that it's California. It's still weird and it seems very unprofessional to me. I think it was supposed to be a rough hazing beatdown planned by mom to get her to agree to keep lodge secrets with fake abductions to scare her, but abductors would not release her. My original theory. Don't you think it's weird that her IMDb or the IMDb thing on Kylie Ronnie was talking about how she died from an abduction in August? Now, well, that's what I mean, Kenny. It was never investigated as a crime at all. Like, we could see that from the very beginning. Like, these cops aren't in, I'm sitting there going, if this is real, these cops can investigate their way out of a paper bag. So either they're very incompetent, they're covering something up, or is what we're seeing and being told actually real? Like, those are reasonable questions to have. And especially at this point, 10 months later, like I said, and not a drop or shred of evidence or proof or fact of anything. And it's just weird. The complete lack of competence is astounding. Extremely unprofessional. And I mean, does it sound like that's how an actual investigation would go? And then you got the press conferences that they came out all the time and never told you nothing. Never told you anything new. Oh, well, we used this many people and we used these things to search today, this sonar. We had people out on four-wheelers, They never, oh, we got this many hours, this much time has been spent, this many people searched. But no actual information worth a damn ever. I mean, it's crazy. And it's like, and I had said this before. I have so many videos on Kylie, but I had said this before. Shit. Oh, every now and then something would come out, like the necklaces, right? And then it was that photo. And then it was, all these other things. And it kept us looking. As soon as we got a little drop of something, we were all over it. Looking here, looking there, looking into this person, looking into this, trying to find answers. And it always led us nowhere. And then another little bit would be dropped out. Oh, yep, we got to chase that down. Again, let us nowhere. I mean, it's craziness. And I still think back to when right after this happened and I looked up Cha Tea, the place where Kylie worked. And I went through the Instagram and it had pictures of every employee, pictures of guests, pictures of activities, and every holiday and all of these things. And there was not one picture of Kylie in there. Like, that is so weird to me. She was an employee. She worked there. How come you have pictures of everybody else, but not one of her? I mean, it's just, there's so many things. Let me see. We didn't get nowhere, but we still are no further forward while the community appears to have moved on. Yeah. And not one person ever came out to say anything. Even the accident was never explained as to how it was an accident. And they never came out with another press conference either. They said they weren't going to come out with the press conference until the autopsy was released. Well, the autopsy was released, and then we never heard a word from the cops. Not one freaking word. I mean, it just doesn't seem, you know, I don't want to say it's not real, but it just seems like how could it happen legally this way, right? Like, it blows your mind. It's a total impossibility for her to have drowned. She was dead before she was dumped in that water. Oh, listen. Yeah. But I mean, I still question everything because we still know absolutely nothing. I think the answers are out there, but get lost in all the different rabbit holes. The locals were irate with their questions not being answered. I'm starting to think it was all a stage thing for them all to be talked about, and Don forgot the huge amount of money for the community. Oh, don't forget the huge amount of money for the community. Yeah. After hearing you ask these questions to Alexa, it feels like this was a play or a show. Like, where the heck did Kylie go? Who said the FBI has an open case? I remember your first video on this, Christy. I said, finally, someone who sees through the BS. And you know, in a couple of articles that I read, and I also want to say, wasn't it in the autopsy? I want to say that it was, but I could be confused. I could be thinking about something else, but I know I read it in an article, and maybe it wasn't autopsy. Maybe no, I think it was. And it said that Kylie's body was found near Prosser Creek Reservoir. Now, why would you say near Prosser Creek if her body was pulled out of the reservoir? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they couldn't get the time right. The time, it went from 12 to 12:30 to 1 to 1:30. Craziness. How about the police spokeswoman going from being hot reporter to serious cop overnight? Yeah, that was super weird too. That was so strange. I still think that autopsy was fake. Oh yeah. We know there was no water in her lungs. That's a fact. So it is possible. It is impossible. That's what I said. I've said that from the very beginning too. She couldn't have gone in there alive because there was no water in her lungs at all. The party people set the narrative. It is the info that was given to her mother. Meg said the FBI is not investigating it any longer. I mean, how does she know? Like, I don't even know where anybody got that information from. Like, unless you legit talked to, like, I would have to talk to an FBI investigator myself to, have them tell me. Um, I mean, the whole thing didn't make sense. And then his, like, look at all these characters like SF. Like, he didn't know these guys from Adam, and he just went there and became best friends all of a sudden with the grandpa. And, you know, he had all this, he was hanging out with the grandpa. Like, it just seems, I don't know. She died before she went into the lake, if that's even her to begin with. It was like a bad movie. Sammy turned up with her own microphone. Who does that when your friend is in serious danger? And who laughs like that? And who's having a good time like that? And you remember when um Mags was, she was like, I mean, I was in my car the other day for like 12 hours driving around looking for her, and she's smiling when she's telling you this. Like, none of them ever acted like they lost anybody. I mean, if they are crisis actors, they need to freaking step it up because they all sucked. Sucked. All of them. Like, we never believed a word any of them said. Let me see. I must have missed something because, wait, mom first always stored in a garage, according to certain people in the know. Are you talking about her car? Oh yeah, and Check It TV. I forget about that guy. What a nut he is. But yeah, thank you for reminding me, sugar. Yeah, and then you had him too, who happened to just find her laptop and her all this stuff that they, you know, again, can a crime or an investigation really go the way that this one went without anybody going, wait a second? You know what I mean? I mean, anybody higher up, anybody with authority. Now, it very well could be that, you know, something really bad happened to her, like we've said all along. And, you know, it's somebody in high power that is involved and trying to cover it up, trying to make everything go away. It also could be, you know, a distraction for us to keep us distracted and stuck in this when we're missing something over here. Let's see. From the birth certificate to her college, her mom said, wait, from the birth certificate to her college, her mom said, then her dad said. I mean, this is definitely one of the most frustrating cases I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Trinity's whole case too. I mean, that whole story didn't make any sense to me. So, but I wonder, you know, if they were like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just so hard. You can't be 100%. I don't think anybody can be 100% sure on any theory that they have. How can you be 100% when you have no actual proof of anything at all? It seemed like anyone that got down in certain rabbit holes was getting hacked too. Maybe the cover up began when Ellie realized they had dropped a massive ship ball by not investigating it as an accident from the off. What I want to know is if she was strapped down by the seatbelt, because that would confirm murder. I mean, honestly, with the way that this whole thing happened, right? With the way the whole thing was set up, like the windows are down in her car. She was found in the back of the car. They pulled the car up again in their shorts and their flip flops with no gloves, reaching into the car, you know, turning the car over, which you could lose any evidence that may have been in there. They didn't take care of that. So they pulled this car out, they loaded it up. I mean, and then how they treated like not then how they treated the people that were asking all these questions. I mean, it's like, how can this happen like this? Oh, her dad wasn't on the birth certificate. And then they both said Kylie was going to. Oh, that reminds me. Do you remember in the article, Lindsay was, I don't remember what article it was. I have it though. But she said that Kylie was swimming in the Galapagos when she was 2 years old. Do y'all remember that? And then Alexa, when I asked her about Kylie, she said she was born in Spain, but was raised in Newport Beach, California. And then when Alexa said that, I went, wait a second. Lindsay said that when Kylie was 2, she was swimming in the Galapagos. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many different things with this. This year's class just graduated. I hope they think about last summer and look out for each other. We are never going to stop these parties. I'm only 100% sure that those YouTubers and everyone around that poor girl are frauds, and SF Investigates is an absolute joke. Yeah. I still think it all revolves around the lodge. It was for sale, and soon after Kylie was found, it went off the market. Right, after they got that money. Many people have come out on this case on YouTube and totally disappeared. I am convinced she was abused at home. Okay, the diver, in my opinion, looked like he was acting when he surfaced. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get any more information from Ellie, period. Oh, Sammy, of course I still care. I mean, I still want the thing that I started this all for. And that is the truth. Whatever the truth may be, that's what I want to know. You know what I mean? That's all. That's all I've ever wanted, was just the truth of what actually happened, the reality of what happened. Let me see. I know when it said she floated to the top of the lake, I was like, wait a minute. Because, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so many different things. She was found in the lake, in her car. Nope, she was found near Prosser Creek Reservoir. She was buckled in. No, she wasn't buckled in. I mean, it's craziness. Glitched. I agree 100%. The license plate photo, lots of sketchy things, but so incredibly thankful they found, and that was another big thing for me, was the freaking license plate, right? They expected us to believe that that car was in the lake for 2 weeks, but the license plate looked as if it had just been put on the car. There was nothing on that license plate. It was clean as could be. Even if he wiped it off, even if a diver wiped it off with their hand, you would see the markings from that. Like, it was clean as a whistle. There's a great channel who talks a lot about this. There is some act law that makes it legal to do this to the public. Oh, yeah, I know. I agree. So many YouTubers have dropped this on YouTube, but not in their minds or offline efforts. I mean, And I never dropped it, but I did step back because it was just regurgitating information. Like I wanted some facts. I wanted something 100% real, something factual. And it's never happened. It's never happened. Let's see. Sorry, I'm gotta go back down. My chat's way in the back somewhere. I do too. I believed it was Tylee's shirt. I believe that it was Kylie's shirt that was found between Prosser and Boca. This whole case, it's like it's deliberately set up to run people in circles. I sometimes think they use YouTube channels to try to play their advantage somehow. Just getting here, but in my opinion, it don't have anything to do with Lindsay needing money because I found records where she owns stocks and bonds in PNCS or PNSC Gas Company, and that gas is expensive. Hey girl, been a minute. CNY, good. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I just like I said, I never let it go. I still talked about her all the time, this case all the time. I drive Chad crazy with it because he's like, "Oh my God, will you get over it? Enough already." I'm like, "How can you say that?" Like we've spent months and months digging into all of this stuff. I just want to know the truth. That's it. How can I let it go? Um, all right, let me get back down here. Sorry guys if I like there's a lot of comments here. Sorry if I miss yours. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, and that's the thing. We just want the truth. Doesn't matter what it is. If I find out that this was all a big show and that it was, just there as a psyop to keep us distracted, to keep us, to see how they could get people to hold on. You know what I mean? I would be upset that I got sucked in, but at the same time, at least I have the truth. At least I know, right? The whole way that they did I did not know that. It was all weird. And you know what, one thing that did stick out in my mind though is Nancy Grace never once talked about this case. Nancy Grace talks about every big case. Every one. And she never said a word about Kylie's case. Don't you find that weird? If it was staged and we were the audience, then that is a messed up way to distract us. What makes you think that her family doesn't know the truth? I mean, oh, she did? I never heard that. And was it on hers? Because I looked and I could not find it. Yeah, could you email that to me? Thank you. There's been a lot of weird things that have happened and has come out in the Idaho 4 case as well. She cut out parts of her videos to make it seem she didn't enter it. Oh, you must be talking about, oh, wait a minute. If this wasn't a setup, I believe Nancy would have covered it same with the big channels. I want them Kylie's info, hoping they would cover it, but they won't touch it either. Yeah, I would too. I gotta see that because I never heard her talk about it at all. Her parents know something, or why fight for their daughter? Well, that's the thing, right? Lindsay nothing she did from the very beginning made sense. Like if my kid calls me and is like, I'm at, she's at a party, I'll be home in 45 minutes. The last thing I'm going to do is go to bed. First of all, I'm going to be waiting up for my daughter. It's 45 minutes to make sure she gets home safely. And then you wake up and your daughter's not there and you go to freaking the coffee shop, you go to Starbucks. I mean, none of it makes sense. And then you know that her phone, you have that app, but you never went there. You send somebody else to go look for your daughter. It just doesn't make any sense. And why are there two different Lindsay Neiemans in Truckee? Because if you look up Lindsay Neiman, Truckee, California, there's a picture of this brunette. I cannot remember what she does. I want to say like interior decorator or something along those lines, I think. But she kept coming up, and the only pictures that come up of Kylie's mom, Lindsay, is during this case. Like you can't find nothing on her before that. No pictures, I'm saying. It's just weird. And how many Kylie Rodneys could there be in Truckee, California? And yeah, the lost that whole thing too, the lost dude. And that's what I'm saying though. When those pictures came out of like Kylie and those other kids holding those cards, right? Those Oracle cards. And then you had the picture that came out of Lindsay and that camp, right? When Kylie was younger, and the kid in the jail, right? That they had made. I mean, so it just kept us going in all these different directions. Well, maybe it's this. Let's look into this. Let's dip deeper into this. And then the lodge, the whole deal with the lodge and the helicopter pad and the private parties and you know what I'm saying? It's and then when I called that day and I called all them locals, I called all different kinds of businesses and talked to people. And two of the people that I talked to had never heard of the Lost Trail Lodge before. Like, how bizarre is that when you have this big case going on and that's where she lived, but you've never heard of it? It's just weird. Like, there's just so many, you could go so many ways. And why 10 months? Why all this time later? It's almost a year later. And nothing. Why do we have nothing? It always hit me as strange. It always hit me as strange when Lindsay states something like, just to let you know, we got this. What did she really mean? At the end, you mean like when at the celebration of life, when she told everybody to mind their own business, we got this? Exactly. Right? What does that even mean? You don't have anything. You obviously, y'all can't. I mean, from what we saw from the police, from what we saw from the family, from what we saw from her friends, none of them had anything. That's what I mean. It almost seems like a show, honestly. Like it's so bad that it would be like a movie. Oh, Kiki, I know it. I just keep getting the gut feeling it is what it first appeared to be. Day one, everyone said Sam Smith. It just got lost. And it very well could be. Have a good night, Ara. Parents didn't lawyer up, no fight for Kylie. Nothing. But her life got, wait a second. Yeah, I know it's not on her. Like I know it's possible, like anything is possible. So it's possible that these people just, had never heard of the lodge before. I'm just saying that if you look at everything collectively, I mean, I understand why people are questioning it. I understand why so many people are like, listen, I mean, I can't do it anymore. Like, there's no proof, there's no evidence. No one has come forward, not even to just talk about her. Hell, not, we're not even talking about come out and tell us what happened, but nobody's come out and said a damn thing. It's crazy. And if it did happen, like we were told that it happened, or if Sammy was involved, right? I mean, this was all over. How could she go to college and anybody there trust her, right? Like, they're like, dude, we saw, listen, we know what went on in Kylie's case, and we don't want nothing to do with you, right? Like, that's how I would be if I was going to college and I heard about this case and I was following this case, and then this chick showed up. Oh, no. Like, I just don't think it would happen that way. Not sure who you're talking about. If your friend passed away while you were there, wouldn't you want to explain how it happened for the family and friends? Yes. And think about the hug. When the infamous hug now. When Lindsay walked up behind Sammy and hugged her and whispered something in her ear. Like, what was that all about? I'm telling you right now that if that were my daughter and I knew that Sam and Sam's story was right? That she was all drunk and wasted, and okay, if that was my daughter and I knew you were the one with her, you were the last one to talk to her according to your own words, and you left her there by herself and she ended up dead, you're the last person that would want to be near me. I can tell you that. Like, that's just reality. That's any mother, I feel like, though. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then let's look at the celebration of life. It was almost like a party for the community that pulled off this whole deal. That's exactly what it was. It certainly was not a memorial for somebody that had just died tragically. I would have killed Sam and been done with it. I don't need proof. My gut is enough for me. She didn't even get the stink eye. I agree. Mom would have been pissed. Yeah, and that's how that's reality though, right? So what are we actually looking at here? What are we looking at? I know, did you see Angela Musalem step back when Lindsay came up to hug Sammy? Angela stepped back like, what the hell? Even she thought it was weird. Exactly. And the way Lindsay treated us, the way she treated people that were trying to find answers is, I feel like any mother, like, we were all fighting for her daughter. Nobody was defaming. We were not defaming her daughter. We were trying to get justice for her daughter. We were trying to find out what really happened. And for her to act like that is not a normal reaction from a mother, I would not think. Not one is okay. So let's think about that interview that Lindsay did. It was August 12th, I want to say. It was either the 12th or the 13th. And she said, listen, I think that there's like normalcy or I think that we all need to get back to our daily routines because frankly, we all have bills to pay. What kind of mother would say that? Your daughter's been missing for 6 days and you're worried about getting back to a daily routine because you got bills to pay. It doesn't make sense. I mean, she would have to be, have no feelings for her daughter whatsoever for that to be the case. It just doesn't add up. I think Angela questioning things about this case is why she was removed as the spokesperson. I mean, I don't know. I think she is involved, not with what happened to Kylie, but I think she's a part of this whole thing because you remember when she flipped out in that town meeting talking about fake news and yeah, yelling. She started yelling, talking about fake news, about that 911 call from the gated community. And she was getting angry. She was angry about that. She was angry that that was even brought up there. And she had to blast out and call it fake news. Now, like I said, when I hear fake news from somebody that's trying to tell us what's up, I question that. I'd haunt every single one of them. Yeah, I hear you. Hold on a second, you guys. Okay. She is Anime's friend, then she was gone when that came out. Yeah, and you never heard from any of them after that. None of them. Never heard from Captain Cover Up again. Never, there's so many things. So, where are we at, you guys? Where are we at 10 months later? What do we have that we didn't have 10 months ago? Angela connected to me on LinkedIn, and when I asked about Kylie's case, she unconnected me. Now, why would that be? So there's two there. So we're looking at two options here, right? Only two things could be, right? Either A, there are, something really bad happened to her, and there are higher ups, and I mean higher ups, that, made sure that everybody kept their mouth shut. Like it'll be the last thing you say if you come out and say something. That it'd have to be like that. Or over here on the other side, this was all an operation for us. We were the target here, the people, to see how far we would take it, to see how, to see how long they could keep us hanging on to something that never happened, right? Only two things. You can't come out and talk about it if it's not real, and you can't come out and talk about it if it'll be the last thing you ever say. We still don't have an accident. I know. Still no accident report on the car. And 10 months later, seriously. Well, look at all the unexplained deaths in that area. And let's not forget that Truckee had the murder mystery what was it? How often did they do it? They were the murder mystery town, right? They had these murder mystery plays that they put on. Could this have just been a bigger step up from that? What about all the missing kids from that area? Well, CNY, we came this far. Let's see it to the end. Yeah, I hear ya. Like, where is that? Give me something. Give me some shred of proof. Give me some shred of evidence. Give me something to hold on to. But that wouldn't explain Megan part in all of this if it was a show. Well, it would, though, right? It would if she was a player or a pawn in the game, or I'm going to say player. Let's just say player. If she was, that was her part to play, was to come out and, say, listen, I know some things. I'll keep people interested. I'll keep people listening to what I have to say. Now, again, guys, I'm not stating any of this as fact here. I'm throwing these things around because here we are. Here we still are. Once a year, and they were also had a huge LE training exercise going on at the time. And let's talk about how those things came out afterwards. Right after this happened, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office received, what was it? Something $1 million for new radios and shit. Do you remember that? And the same, Megs is in here. She said, no, I am not a player, no game. Well, I'm just saying, here we are, and still nothing. It seems crazy to me. So I'm just saying that I can understand why people are thinking the way that they're thinking. I mean, this is just so crazy. I mean, how is it that an operation can be run this way? How is it that everybody involved in this girl's life couldn't have showed a shred of sensitivity or caring or, love? Where's all that at? It's just very frustrating. Yeah, they got federal funding. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office got, I don't know, it was something crazy. Millions of dollars right after this had happened. And then, let's think about the $25,000 that the family anonymously received right when the cops decided to pull out of Prosser area. You say you have got to know Xana May. Do you know if her boyfriend or partner is called Milo? Oh, yes. I actually am planning a video on that, Jeremiah. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Oh yes, that man, he's got to go for sure. Like he's way past his. Those that showed emotions got torn apart, innocent people. Okay, so I will say this. I will say this, and I've said this, right? I've actually told Megs this. Listen, Sammy put herself in the front position of this case. I don't care what anybody says. That's exactly what she did. Like y'all said, she brought her own microphone to do it. She got the attention and the stuff that she got from people, the questions and all of that, because she put herself out there. Okay. She did. That's why people went after her the way they did. Now, people went after Zanime because she inserted herself into this investigation. She did that. So, yes, people are going to ask questions. People are going to dig. People are going to listen. Everybody wanted to know what the hell happened to this girl. So, yes, you have to expect that. People went after Jay. I wonder why. Because he put himself in this investigation and caused everybody to question the shit that he said. That's all, and as far as I go, that was always my goal. I never attacked anybody. I never went after anybody that did not insert themselves into this case. Now, had they not inserted themselves into this case like they did and act the way they did, so suspect, then people would never have, I would have never said a word to them ever. Right. But when you get people that are like, oh, yeah, we were friends, we were great friends, and this is what happened, but I can't talk about it. I can't say this. I can't say that. I'm not even willing to come out and talk about her at all. That raises eyebrows. That makes people go, well, what are you trying to hide? Why won't you come out and say anything? These are all reasonable things, and that's just all there is to it. Like we all had, well, I can't speak for anybody else, so I'll stop saying that. But me and the people that have followed me, our whole goal has been to just find the truth, whatever that 10 months ago, I said the same exact thing. I just want to know the truth. I just want to know what happened. It's okay to ask questions, but it's not okay to bully and harass anyone like I want to do to Sam. Ain't no coincidence that Adventures with Purpose fell apart immediately after. I know, right? Think about everything that had step back and look at everything from the very beginning until now. Every single person, every single thing that happened, every single thing. And it's so bizarre. All the lies from Sam is what I can't move. We all do. What the fuck happened to this little girl? I know. And it's like, why wouldn't her family just come out and answer some questions? Because, people can say, oh, well, they don't owe you an explanation. Nobody owes us anything. That's what people, and I kind of understand where people are coming from when they say that. At the same time, though, we've been out here fighting for your daughter, for your granddaughter, trying to find the truth. Why are you going to treat us that way? Nobody was out here. We weren't out here defaming Kylie. We weren't out here running her name into the ground. We were out here trying to figure out what happened to her. Right? That's all we were trying to do. So, we spent months fighting for her. So for us, I just think I don't know. I think that's rude. And I I will say it like this. If this was my daughter, if this was my daughter, I would have treated people who were trying to find the truth so much differently than Lindsay did. So much differently than everybody did. I would want that. I would want people to be fighting for answers. I would want people to be trying to find out the truth because the story doesn't make sense. Nothing works here. Nothing makes sense. And like I said, I certainly would not be hugging up on the person who was last with my daughter. Said she was the last person to talk to my daughter. No, that would not happen. I mean, is there any mother in here in the chat right now that disagrees with the statement that I just made? If that was your daughter, would you be friendly with Samantha the way that she was? Like, I got a weird feeling during that. I'm not going to lie. In this particular case, they asked for our help, and now we want answers. And I think they owe us an explanation that makes sense. And I agree. Remember, Lindsay, when you came out begging people for help? And so we all were like, okay, let's help. And then you acted like that. It is kind of scary. So if I'm not sure, that might be a misspelling or something. It is kind of scary to think a whole town would stay quiet for nearly a year. Why not accept drugs and alcohol played into this? Lindsay accepted it. She knows her daughter. You know what's funny, though, is Lindsay was the first person to come out in the beginning and say that Kylie would never have drank and drove, ever. She said, my daughter would never have done that. As a matter of fact, my daughter has been at parties before and she's called for a ride. My daughter knows not to drink and drive. She wouldn't do that. That's not Kylie. And then, bam, she flipped the script and everybody was like, oh, it was a drunk driving accident. Come on. What are we supposed to think here? So if I give Sam a hug, that would be wrong. No, I'm not saying if you gave Sam a hug, it'd be wrong. It would be wrong if it's wrong that Lindsay did. That's what I'm saying, because it was her daughter. Exactly. There was no drugs or autopsy. If you want to go with the autopsy, there was no drugs or alcohol in her system. You and one other YouTuber are the only one I heard still chatting about Kylie. I think of her at least 2 times a day. I think AWP was deliberately brought in to make it look like they found her, but they already knew they placed the body there because they had to produce a body with all the crime sleuthing got involved. I'm just saying that if it was my daughter, I wouldn't. Sam is the last person. If that's the story that you come to me with, you're the last. You better get away from me because you're the last person that I want to be near. Now, that's just me. That's just how I am. But again, Lindsay did everything wrong, in my opinion. She did everything that a mother would not do, which is where I'm going with this. Everything she did from the very first thing she said was wrong. It goes against your motherly instinct. Every single thing. Not staying up to wait for her, going to bed, waking up in the morning, realizing she's not there, and not immediately calling the cops, not immediately checking your phone to see where she was last known to be, and going to check there. She went to Starbucks. It doesn't make sense. That's not motherly instinct. So help me out here. And then not going to search for her and then giving some bullshit line about, oh, well, I can't go search for her because I'm not trained to search for missing people. But the teenagers are, right? But strangers are. People volunteered to go look for her, but you can't because you're not trained. I mean, okay. Okay. Everything Lindsay did goes against what motherly instinct is. I mean, that's just my opinion, but let me see. My daughter is out with Sam as we speak. So is that wrong? Listen, and no, you and your daughter, you can be around whoever you want to be around. If you don't think it's weird or you don't think, then that's your opinion. But I'm going to stick over here with my opinion. And, we all have different opinions, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm not going to, attack you or anything just because you have a different opinion than me. I've grown. I love y'all. Gotta run. R.I.P. Kylie. All right. Have a good night. If she believed that Kylie was so drunk, then why didn't she ask them? Then why did you leave her to drive home, right? Yeah, dad and grandpa went looking. Why not mom? Wait a minute. I must have missed something here. Give me a second. The complete lack of emotion makes me think AI psyop. And it's interesting because wait, MJ, you don't know how you don't know much about how that works, do you? Yes, drugs would still show up, but probably at significantly less levels. There were none. Some moms do not form that bond with their child. Well, a bond is different than instinct, right? It's right. Whoa. Yeah, I can't possibly catch all these. I can't read all these. There's too many to try to catch up on, and then I'm way, way, way behind. But anyway, it's just we're still nowhere, guys. That's a fact. The fact is we're still nowhere. There's still no proof. There's still no evidence. There's still no one has come forward. The cops never came out and said a damn thing after that BS autopsy was released. I mean, and what are we supposed to think? No way am I going to stay away. I'm going to Truckee. Yeah, I mean, Maxie. Oh yeah, MJ Maxie. A fact that you've been given, sugar. A fact, an actual fact. I mean, if you have something, MJ, that you would like to share with all of us that have been here, that have been trying to figure out what the hell happened to this girl, I'd love to hear it. This is, you can speak freely here. No, not really, CNY. I've seen moms that did not bond and didn't really care what the child did. They did not have that emotional contact with them. It's sad, but it happens more than you know. I'm working on my next video for Kylie as we speak. I will never stop helping to get the word out. Kenny. Yeah, and then they had her cremated before the investigation was complete. That doesn't make any sense, you guys. I mean, even, okay, let's look at this from this point of view. Even if this is just a big cover, like even if they are trying to cover up her murder, right? There would be people from the outside that could see how this was going and that it wasn't being investigated and then nothing was done legally and everything was done wrong. I mean, we can all see that, but nobody's doing anything about it. Like, it's just hard to swallow that pill. We never got any official reports from CHP. We never got a final precedent from the media. It was never addressed in a factual way. They never even debunked the tow truck driver's sighting either. I know her mom that's true though, right? Her mom didn't have any problem showing any love to the community. She thanked the community. She thanked people that brought they thanked people that brought coffee. They thanked people for tables. But they never thanked the Adventures with Purpose for finding her. They never, she never showed any emotion towards Kylie. It's just, really bad acting. That's the weird thing. Her mom doesn't act heartless, only when it comes to her daughter. Let's hold on a second. If there is something important y'all want to say, and it's really hard to catch all of these, and if it's important, can just consider doing a super chat. I think the cheapest one's like 99 cents. That way, because it sticks out and I can actually see it. Yeah, there's people believe it was an accident. There's people that believe, it was an OD. There's people that believe that it was a hazing. She got beat up. There's people that believe, this never happened and it was all a psyop. There's people that believe she was murdered. There's people who believe that she was trafficked. That's the thing. How can all these theories still be? How can we not have anything concrete? Because everything we saw just didn't make sense. And it still to this day doesn't. In the state of Alaska, they would not permit a cremation until the investigation was completed. And normally a mother wouldn't either, right? A mother wouldn't. It makes sense that they had her cremated because they didn't have the proper body in the vehicle. That's why the medical exam and autopsy was all rigged. Nothing to resume to reinvestigate. Oh, glitched. Girl power. Yeah. God. No thanks to the people who found her. Okay. I see, that's the thing too. If I even had a slight doubt, even if I had a little shred of anything in my gut or in my intuition that was telling me something was wrong here, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would not be able to do that. Unlike Lindsay, I care a lot about my children. It's just, it makes me, it makes me so upset. Like, I've moved on from anger because I don't let myself get there anymore. It had me in a dark place for a long time in this case. And I won't do that to myself anymore. But it's heartbreaking, just and frustrating and irritating that we don't have anything. And this whole time, come on, and the cops never shut down. They just let campers be coming in and out. They never shut down the crime scene. They didn't do anything like a regular investigation would have done. So what was this? Was this their exercise? Was this their what are we looking at here? I mean, it's like we're asking a hard question. You know what I'm saying? And we just can't, nobody knows the answer. But that's another thing too, because if they really didn't want her found, they wouldn't have put her in Prosser Reservoir because it goes away. The water levels decrease. It She would have been found sooner. I mean, sooner or later, she would have been found in there. So I just think if you want to make a body go, you want to hide a body, you're not going to put it in a reservoir that the water is going to be gone from in a couple of weeks. Well, if you just look at the autopsy alone, plus the way she was found, it points more so to foul play. This used to keep me up at night. Now I pray about it. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Leslie. Yeah, I just want the truth. That's all I want. Like, just to know the truth, even if, it isn't what I would expect or want. That's all I want. Then instead of letting AWP bring out the car, they lost stuff out of the car and made a big mess out of it. Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. How does CHP get involved if there wasn't a highway involved? Supposedly just a vehicle in a reservoir that never made it to a highway. Do you know, I thought about that a lot. Like, what does California Highway Patrol have to do with this? Oh, because it was a car accident? Well, really? Give us some evidence from that then. Where is the proof? No, she said, no, Alexa earlier said that Kylie was born in Spain, but raised in what the hell did I say? Oh my God, Newport Beach. Now again, I'm just saying that Lindsay did talk about Kylie swimming in the Galapagos. So, and being in Europe, and she was traveling when she was younger. That's what Lindsay said. When she came out and told everybody that when Kylie was 7, she would only bathe in a creek in the backyard. She would not bathe inside the house. Just craziness. Mags and Sam said community was going to bring her home, and only with the help of the community. It's in a news interview, and the live chat was going crazy. That's what Jay and Kate said too. They were going to be the ones to bring her home and find her. Not real crime scene. I believe it was a teaching experience for all these communities LEs and stuff, almost like a mock scene, and had you play it out because it went bigger than they thought. Right. Like, I don't think they ever planned on us YouTubers picking it up the way that we did. Like, I don't think they thought that the social media was going to go so far with it. Yep, still no pics of the party. Yep. Well, CNY, maybe that's why you could not find her. BC. And there was and I thought about that too, because there was so much talk for how long that nobody could find a birth certificate on Kylie. Nobody could find one. And then all of a sudden, one came out. Like, did they fake that? Did somebody make that and put that out to shut people up? Because I know her dad wasn't on there. It's weird. I wonder if they stored Kylie, and her car in a garage where the owners were away. I wanted my time talking to Jay for weeks, and he just took me on a ride emotionally. This statement bothers me about the Truckee Waytown document. Invent options for mutual gain. Many options will be considered to solve the problem or develop the policy. Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. Wow. I just lost that. Where the hell did it go? Yes. I agree. I know, for mutual gain, right? Take care of things in house to solve a problem, to develop the policy. And like I said, and then after all this happened, everybody made out financially that was involved in this case. The cops, the Nevada County sheriffs, the Lindsay, everybody. Everyone is going so far. It's because it looks so obvious to us YouTubers. That made better sense right there, that it was just a test drill. Henceforth, why the mother really didn't care and nobody else, and they weren't worried about the evidence and flipping the car. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you look at everything that we question, right? From the way her mom was, to the way her friends acted, to how the cops showed up at the scene, to how they didn't close the scene down, to how they never treated it like a crime scene, to how they pulled the vehicle out, to how they went in there with no gloves and did what they did, and to how they if you look at everything that doesn't make sense and you look at it from the lenses of a show, like a reality that would, like, what they wanted you to think was reality, but it was like a big show or a play or if you look at it from that, you're like, I get why I get why people think that, because it makes sense, right? I mean, we just don't know. I wonder about that birth certificate. I looked and looked for months. The loudest voice will never be heard. Or maybe they thought the abduction story was good until AWP said they were traveling there. Maybe they hoped we would never know where Kylie was and if she was still alive. I totally agree with you. Maybe in a house garage being cleaned by a certain person. Like, I think that's where the car was at in that gated community in somebody's garage. Remember that person that said that they saw Jay drive the car in? He had a female in the front seat with him, but never drove the car out again. Here's another one. Focus on the interests of those involved, not positions they may take. The process looks for a wise outcome that tries to meet multiple interests. Yeah, it's just like a movie. Shannon, Allie, are you talking about which cop? Shannon Moon? I searched all over the country with multiple information sites, including California Vital Statistics, and couldn't get one. I wonder if, like, going off of what Alexa said, did anybody look for her birth certificate in Spain? Also, not one picture, video, or factual presentation of that supposed party. I know. I found Lindsay and Daniel and also Tony Neiman with family, but nothing about Kylie, no records. The only thing that I saw from Kylie was that court document that she had gotten pulled over. It was a traffic violation or something. Do you remember? But again, that I don't know who put that out there. Yeah, did you, Katie Bug, in the video that I put out earlier, I was asking Alexa questions, and it said that she went missing on Saturday, but she was found on Monday when her body had floated to the surface of the lake. I know, and that's what guy? Oh yeah, failure to carry proof of insurance. Was that it? Yeah, I can't remember. There's so much. So crazy. Give me just 1 second, you guys. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Hold on a second. I listen, I don't stand by anything that Alexa said. I'm just telling you what she said. I mean, we heard so many different things. That's what I'm saying. We heard she was born in different places. We heard she was going to college in different places. We heard we saw pictures of her. Her hair was long. But then again, on the autopsy, it was short. The tattoo was wrong. Her height was wrong. Her weight was wrong. Her lung weight was wrong. I mean, every single discrepancy we've seen in this case, it's amazing that, some of us, have hung on to this as long as we have, given that we have no information or proof of anything at all. Like it's crazy. I know someone that knew her from birth. I hope anyone partying with her goes to prison, or if anyone tampered with her, lock them up. It seems so odd that there was no footage before of Kylie's car traveling in and around Truckee. Must have been loads of cameras around. Everything. I know. None of it makes any freaking sense. She was older when they moved to the lodge, like 6 to 10, I think, but I don't know where they lived before that. I wonder if there is body cam footage from when Kylie was fined, Ari, the insurance papers. Yeah, I wondered that too. Yes, everybody, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button. It's like they deliberately put everybody in suspense over this. But do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, it's like one thing after another. It's like, okay, give them this little bit of information, and then we chased it and ended in a dead end road. Give them this little bit of information. We chased that. That led nowhere. You know, it's like we've been given all of these distractions to keep us looking in different places. Why, though? Why? And if this was an accident, they would not have gone through everything that they had gone through you wouldn't have had to done that if this was an accident. They'd have just come out and said, listen, here's what happened. You know, her mom would have come out and said, here's what happened. But that's not how it went down. I always give you 2 thumbs up. Maybe we should start at the beginning. My gosh. Who did you know who knew her from birth, Megs? When I called Ellie, I asked the girl who answered the phone what the cause of death was. She said, whatever they said it was. You know, when I called Forest Charter, it was so bizarre. So I called, and the secretary or lady at the desk answered the phone, and I said, yes, I'm calling about Kylie Rodney and what's going on. And she said, okay, just give me a minute. I'm going to put you on with the superintendent, I think she said. And he got on the phone, and he goes, hello. I go, yes. I'm calling about Kylie Rodney. And he freaking hung up the phone on me. Like, how rude. B, you don't even know what I was going to say. So why are you just hanging up and not willing to say anything at all? It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, the news interview says it all. I've watched all the news interviews. Which one? Yeah, same. I know. Same with the freaking coffee shop. Yeah, if y'all have not been following me this whole time, I have a ton of videos on Kylie and on this case and on everybody involved and all the different avenues we went down. So, you know, go back and watch some of those definitely if you haven't. There's a lot of good info, you know, I mean, we were trying to track down everything we could. That first news interview when they showed the black hoodie and read the caption. I know. I mean, if you think of this as a psyop, right? That would go perfectly into it, right? Like they want you to think this. They want your brain in this narrative. They want you to, you know what I'm saying? Like keep your mind focused here. Let's see how long and how many people we can get going down this road. You were so fired up on that first one because I was mad. I was really mad. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. I've never seen kids running the show. I've never seen cops hand everything over to the children. Like, it's just something you never saw before. I was absolutely sure it was a hoax. Please, everyone, if you're new to Kylie's case or Christy's channel, go back and start from the beginning. And releasing that video, or I'm sorry, releasing that last known photo of her that was all photoshopped, that was, that was such garbage. That was clearly not Kylie in that picture, or what we know to be Kylie. Why do all that? Just release a picture of Kylie. I mean, for God's sakes. And then you couldn't get any more information on that either. How come you couldn't get any information? Like, they put something out, right? Like on the necklaces, but then you couldn't get nothing on it. Nothing. They put something out on the hoodie, but then you could get no information on it. It's like they put these things out there, but it just ended there because they knew we were never going to find these things. I was screaming at my phone because I didn't have a channel, and then you came on and I was like, yes, finally. She's saying everything I want to. And yeah, and not say where any of this stuff came from. Dang. So yeah, guys, it's unfortunate, but here we are 10 months later. I mean, still nothing. They said it could take this in a whole different direction. Yeah, and then, Adventures of Purpose, when, they pissed me off too. When they were like, well, if this goes a certain way, we'll release the information that we have. But if it doesn't, then we're not going to say anything. Like, that's straight up BS right there. Because if you know something and you're a good person, then just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Or if you don't want to, leak it to somebody who can put it out there. They knew everything from the get-go, no matter what this is. That's why they didn't bother to investigate anything they knew. There was nothing to investigate, almost like they were making an appearance. Did y'all know that Annie Elise deleted all her Kylie videos? 10 to life. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, Samantha should have been arrested for saying that she was sharing drinks with Kylie when Kylie was 16 and she was not. She should have been arrested. I'm straight up. You were sharing drinks with a minor. You were drinking out of the same cup as a minor. You admittedly were the last person to see her alive, or you were the last person to speak to her that night. Which I don't even know how you could say that when you supposedly left. How do you know you were the last person to talk to her? How do you know she didn't talk to somebody right after you left because you left? And then Mags and her whole BS talking about, oh, well, I was only there for 10 minutes because dudes were forcing me to take bong rips and my boyfriend wasn't there. Like, just bad acting. You all suck. You suck at what you do. You all suck. Like, I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Just lies. No heroes for Kylie. We won't stop. We know things don't add up. Unless Sam never left and was there for what happened. Yeah, why not release the CHP report? Why not come out and with another press conference? Like, why did you hide? Like, where'd Captain Cover Up go? Where'd Angela go? Where did everybody go? Right? They're like, oh, exercise is over. Everybody go back to your ways and we'll never speak of this again. Yeah, you'll never win with Nightbot. I know. Unfortunately, people don't like speaking the truth. It just sucks. I mean, it just sucks. I just want the truth. That's all I want. What about the pic of Sammy they kept saying was Kylie? Yeah. The last known photo of her. Right. I know. It's just all of it is weird. It's just so weird how her memory has been scrubbed. And and a lot of people are saying that like the internet is being scrubbed of Kylie, like all like her stuff is just disappearing. Um, why are people erasing her from their lives? Now, if this was a psyop, that's exactly what they would do, right? Like I don't know. I'm not obviously going to get into it in this video, but if you ever looked into the Las Vegas, the Las Vegas shooting, I mean, you find a lot of discrepancies in there too. And now some of the stuff that was out there from the beginning is gone. It's gone. The belt in that video is just another secret for this town. In my town, this case wouldn't have been handled this way. They would have done it right. Nate H's dad is tied with Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg would know how to scrub the internet. Especially to get a promo deal, which 10 to Life did. Yeah. There's a lot of BS surrounding this case for sure. And like I said, when I started this live, like I understand why everybody is where they are. Like I understand why people are starting to be like, okay, what the hell is really going on here? Are we all being played? Because I get it. What do you mean a promo deal? I know. And if you think about it, what would Zuckerberg be doing there searching, right? And Chris Ferrari, the freaking, you know what I'm saying? Of Ferrari Industries, Ferrari, the Hembrecht. What? I mean, for God's sakes. They unleashed AI on the unsuspecting public, and there's a lot of fuckery going on about all kinds of stuff. I think that Ellie messed up on that pic, and they know it. Kylie's hair was so much longer. They just silent for a reason. Which Gabby Petito was connected to. Oh, I know. Gets paid per video to promote a product. It's big money. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't watch her. I don't watch her, though. I don't watch much of anybody anymore on YouTube. There's it just so many people turned me off during all of this. It's just craziness. No, it was definitely not Kylie in that picture, in my opinion. Yeah, for Kylie, we don't know anything, you guys. Yep. So again, tomorrow, and I am not one of those people. I can't, like I said, I haven't done videos. I haven't done a lot of videos on Kylie lately, but I've never walked away from it. There was nothing, there's no factual proof or information or evidence to put out there that proves anything, you know? Um, Okay, I will, Leslie. Yeah, those of you that don't, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter. The links, no, the links are not in my description, but they are on my channel page. But tomorrow, so tomorrow night at 9:00, yes, we can keep her name alive though. You know, we need to find the truth. Tomorrow at 9:00, I will be doing a live. If you guys, we're going to be going at Alexa again. If you guys have any questions that you want me to ask her during that live, please leave them in the comments below so I can have everything ready. It's just easier that way to have it all planned out than to take questions during the live. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to miss anybody if they have any important questions they want to ask. And again, this is just to see what she will say, because she said some very odd things yesterday and today. Thanks, CNY. Much love, Kylie's crew. Okay, so make sure you tune into that. And like I said, it'll be 9:00. Yeah, that's the plan. So just leave me any questions that pertain to Kylie's case that we could ask her, and we will do that tomorrow night. And then Sunday we have our members only live at 5:00. So we'll get that done. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm working on some stuff, you know, behind the scenes in the background, and, you know, we'll just have to go from there. But thank you guys for all being here tonight and joining in this conversation with me and talking about these different things and different avenues. And it's just crazy. Need to try Siri and Google and a couple other things too, because I think Alexa only 60% accurate if I read right earlier today. And yeah, that could be totally true. That could be. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this here tonight. If you have not already subbed to my page, please go ahead and hit that sub button. It's a free way to help out the channel. If you have not hit that like button, please go ahead and remember to do that before you leave. Free way to help the channel out. If anybody can do anything more and you want to help out the channel, the links are all down in the description below. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions and keep spreading that light. I will see you guys tomorrow.